Hello, welcome to Book Obsession. I'm Ashley Gunn. Today's book review is going to be on Once a Duchess by Elizabeth Boyce. I got this book on my Amazon Prime. I know that some of her books are also available on the Overdrive app. I have to tell you how to get her books because she exceeded every expectation I could have had for her books. And I mean, just incredible. Once a Duchess is the first book of a series, and I have not finished the series, but I was so excited I felt like I had to do a review on this one. There are some similarities in the style of writing for like Natasha Anders' The Unwanted Wife. So if you like that book, you will like this. This one is a historical romance, takes place in the 1800s. However, the depth, the love of the characters, the feeling you get from a book are very reminiscent of a Natasha Anders book. So, with that being said, in general, what this book is about is a woman named Elizabeth. She was accused of adultery by her mother-in-law, and her husband believed his mom and divorced her. During the 1800s, obviously, this is going to basically put her in exile. Her brother is ashamed of her. Through a series of events, Elizabeth is going to end up being a chef at an inn, and Marshall is going to end up staying. They're going to run into each other. I think that Marshall's surprised to find out that Elizabeth isn't being cared for and having a cherished little life with her brother, but also he's definitely surprised to find out that Elizabeth still maintains that she's innocent. I mean, you do understand why Marshall feels the way he does because his mother was the one who put the claims against Elizabeth. At the time, Marshall was out of town dealing with his father's death. Elizabeth had broken her ribs, and her friend, who was around a lot, so it did look a little suspicious, was wrapping her ribs when her mother-in-law saw. That being said, you'll find out everything and exactly how it played out. When Marshall runs into Elizabeth at the inn, he becomes concerned for his reputation. It doesn't look good on a duke that his ex-wife is cooking at an inn and that it's kind of ran down. It's not perfect. It's not a glamorous life, and so it looks bad on him. He writes Elizabeth's brother and basically says, rectify this, it looks bad. And so Alex, Elizabeth's brother, is going to attempt to fix it. And his way of fixing it is getting Elizabeth remarried. That may sound callous of Alex. However, that does make sense because if Isabel gets remarried, then she's no longer a piranha, no longer exiled. Not to mention the fact that Alex will no longer have to financially support her. So it's easier for everybody. Eventually, Elizabeth does enter the dating scene again, start trying to go out, meet people more often. While Elizabeth is out one day shopping, she runs into Naomi, and Naomi is kind of played in the book a little naive. She's definitely young, but she's just a heart of gold. And so she ends up trying to befriend Isabella again. Even though their situations are different, Naomi wants to have her sister back. That makes sense. And again, through a series of events, Isabella and Marshall are going to run into each other again because Naomi invites Isabella to a party at her house, and another brother, Grant, gets angry, sends all the servants away. Isabella ends up cooking at the house for all of the guests at the party, and Marshall feels guilty that he has Isabella working in his kitchen and offers to help. So they basically are trying to be friends again. At this point, I don't want to go too much further because I don't want to ruin the mystery of the book, but I will say, so here we are. We're in their kitchen. They are trying to become friendly again. I think we're getting close to the end of the book, and I would say right now you're about 40% into the book. Elizabeth does a great job of maintaining a back and forth between the characters. It's not just an instant forgiveness and love and let's be together again. There are a lot of hurt feelings. There's a lot of questions. Why would Marshall's mother lie? Trusting Isabella over his mother is obviously going to be a very difficult situation. Rectifying a situation when you figure out that the story is not what you thought it was going to be. I mean, how do you do that? You divorced this lady for 3 years. She's been living in exile. People have been treating her horribly. And does she even want you? At that point, she's looking for a new husband. And I forgot to mention this, but Marshall is essentially engaged to a woman named Lucy. Though there's no promises being made, it is very clear that that is what his intention is going to be. So there's different relationships already existing. Isabella is definitely getting a lot of pressure from her brother Alex to get remarried and get the situation over with. The families are also going to play a large factor in this because you're going to have Marshall's brother Grant, who hates Isabella for hurting his brother. You have Naomi, who's trying to befriend Isabella. You have Isabella's brother Alex, who hates Marshall. And then you have Marshall's mother, who is obviously very anti-Isabella. So the families are going to be playing a tug of war through this whole book. It was just an incredible book, an all-consuming book. I mean, I read this every second I could, and when I finished it and that last page of the Prime comes up where it gives you the other books, I just started clicking them all. I absolutely loved this book, whether it's because it was a drama, historical romance, I don't know. I felt like it was the complete package. If you like this review, go ahead and like it. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave those down below. If you like my reviews, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll get them every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thank you all for joining me. I will see you again shortly.